guys doing? Boy, do I miss seeing each one of you face to face. And I hope that soon we can be together again. I guess you're wondering why I'm sitting up here on my refrigerator. Well, the other day I was doing some spring cleaning, and which required me to dust off the top of my kitchen counters and wipe down these greens and dust my knickknacks. And as I was up here, I noticed that I was a lot higher off the ground than I normally am. And as I looked out over the kitchen and our family room, I realized that I could see a lot more areas and things up here than I normally do when I'm standing on the ground. I had a very different perspective. When we're in a situation in life, there's lots of different perspectives that we can look at it from. Sometimes when we're in certain situations, maybe we're playing video games or cranking, and we can only see what's right in front of us. We can't see the bigger picture. When I was sitting high up on my refrigerator, it made me think of God's perspective and how where He is, which is way up high in heaven, He can see everything. His dwelling place is in the heavens, much, much higher than where we are. So His perspective is wider and fuller and deeper than any of our perspectives here on earth. God tells us in Jeremiah 23, "Can anyone hide from me in a secret place? I fill the whole earth." So that just reminds me that there's no matter where we are or where we go, God is with us and He can see us because His presence is everywhere. I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself in sticky situations. Small, confined, uncomfortable. People or things might be poking me. I might be afraid or anxious, sad or scared. Maybe there's some relationships in my life, maybe either between friends or parents, that are stressful. And I'm not understanding why God has me in this situation or what the purpose is. Have you ever been in that position before? I have many, many times. I want you to remember the words of Isaiah in chapter 55, verses 8 to 9, when he says, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, and my ways are not your ways. As far as the heaven is above the earth, so are my ways and my thoughts greater than yours." And so can there be a greater distance between heaven and earth? This is an illustration of the great difference between the ways and thoughts of God and the ways and thoughts of man. And that difference is the vastness between heaven and earth. My human thoughts, Michelle's thoughts, are infinite and limited, while the thoughts of God are infinite and immeasurable and endless. My ways, Michelle's ways, if I'm honest, are probably motivated by selfishness and pride, but God's ways are always holy, just, and right. And if you find yourself in a situation like I described when I was in the bushes, one where you might be anxious or afraid, maybe feeling a little sad or depressed, scared about something or anything, I want you to remember a couple things. The first thing is that, remember, God's ways, they're higher than our ways. We can't always understand from our perspective here on earth what He's doing in our lives. But I want you to trust that He has a plan and a purpose, and He's working it out for your good. And if you're in a situation and you can't see or understand how it's going to turn out, remember that God sits way up high on His throne, and from His perspective, He sees everything. He sees the beginning from the end and every moment in between. The circumstances of your life are not a surprise to God. The circumstances of your life were designed by God. Be confident that your Heavenly Father is in the process of shaping you and molding you into young men and young women who look and resemble like His beloved Son, Jesus. And from His perspective way up high, when He looks down on you, He can already see the family resemblance.